Everybody, welcome to Wednesday night OWCP Chats with Chris and Gini. We have a guest audience and the famous Victor from Orlando.
Everyone sees Victor commenting all the time. That's Victor.
This is our Victor. So tonight, he's on here and he's just gonna answer some questions that we have for him and talk about his role in APW.
And
So,
in the guest audience, we got Dr. Dave Dorfman from Melbourne, Florida, and Titusville, and soon to be Orlando.
yes.
And he's just hanging out with us because he's my boy. And so maybe we'll bring him on in a minute and I'll just get off the camera.
So don't forget to share, like, follow, comment, subscribe, tag your friends. This is going to be a really good one because Victor can answer a lot of questions the things that are going on in the post office and as a steward, how he helps them. So take it away.
Yeah. So I wanted to have Victor on because first of all, we're at the Florida APW. This Florida APW convention was called?
Florida APW Fall Summit in Ocala, Florida.
And so we've got clerks from wall to wall all over the place here. And we've got a booth right outside of these doors. And shoot, Victor's here. Let's talk to Victor.
Okay.
So you've been with USPS for how long?
Since 2002.
And earlier, Gini asked you if you carry the mail.
No, I just need stamps.
So APW, for those of you that aren't postal employees, those are the clerks and some other crafts, right, inside of the.
We represent maintenance, we represent custodians and clerks.
That's right. And you also focus in on OWCP.
I follow you guys,
Uh-huh.
but we have other people that do all those cases. But I follow you guys because I'm very interested of what you guys do, okay? And the APW also works with OWCP as well, from the national headquarters in DC. And my passion is for the employees to work on a safe environment and not to get hurt. And if they do get hurt, there's some ways for those employees and coworkers to get help. And that's why I follow you guys.
How long have you been with USPS?
Since 2002, I've been a shop steward for almost 20 years.
20 years.
20 years. Shop steward for the APW, yes, with the same local, Central Florida, local 1462. I'm also the assistant clerk craft director. I represent 35 plus offices, but I also have my full-time job. Okay, so
Licking stamps.
Well, kind of, yeah.
What's your favorite flavor?
At least we don't have to lick stamps because they come with it right now. But yes, I have I'm a level 7 clerk. I'm a lead sales service associate clerk in my station in Winter Park. I have my role also as assistant clerk director for my local 35 plus offices that I represent. Everything is done by the phone, by emails, text messages, because driving to all the 35 offices is crazy.
Yeah.
So, I have a passion. I love what I do. I love to help people. I love to file grievances in the management.
Oh, I love to file grievances. You have to show me how to do that one day.
I will. And that's why I'm here, to enforce the contract and to make sure that management does not violate the contract. Even that management and the post office, they were trained to mismanage, okay? And that's why we have a contract that it was signed by the union and by the post office. They have to abide by the contract. They don't do it.
Well, they never violate the contract.
But that's why we have the union, and that's why we have to file grievances. And I like my job. It's a fun job. It takes a lot of time for myself.
Of course.
I used to do union work at home back then. And one time my wife comes to me and say, well, it's between the union or my other family.
Bed.
Exactly. So I said, you know what? I'll do my union work when I'm working.
Yeah.
When I'm off the clock, it's family time.
Right. Good.
So I managed how to do the union work on my work hours.
Right. So, all right. How do we find each other? Why do we know each other?
Because
Why do we know?
I was, that's why I love social media. I was going through my Facebook and I saw this page and, let me join. And you guys were talking about OWCP, the work that you guys do and all the offices that you have, in Florida and other states. And I said, you know what, let me join.
Yeah,
And every Wednesday, I try my best to be live. There's some Wednesday I can't.
that's way good.
But I learn a lot and I share the information that you guys bring to the table on your live chat to members that got injured on the
Right,
job,
yeah,
okay?
yeah.
And as a matter of fact, I'm gonna give a shout out to my coworker, Stacy O'Hara. I
She's
know-
on.
She's on?
said,
Yeah,
"Hey,
she said
Victor."
hello.
My coworker from the park.
Stacy.
Stacy, Dr. Dorfman is behind the cameras, okay? I just met him today, so she's very happy that I gave her the information.
Yeah,
And she's very happy that Dr. Dorfman, team is helping her with her case.
yeah. Oh, I am too. And hello, Jalissa. She's on tonight. All right, so prior to this, I said, let's talk about a few things. Not this is scripted. This is not scripted. He has no idea what I'm about to ask.
Okay, the questions are right here. No, just kidding, I'm just kidding.
But over the 20 plus years, right, you've seen things that I would categorize as like OWCP nightmares.
Okay,
So what are some of the things that you've seen that, just can't go on that I think probably we're fixing? Not that this has to be a promotion for federal injury centers, but what are some of the like terrible things that you see, especially like with the way supervisors treat people and the way people's lives are sometimes ruined by a work injury?
well, okay, I'm just gonna give you this, an example that just happened recently. There's a temporary employee, he's a letter carrier, he's a CCA. He got injured while he was delivering bail, and he injured his, I think it was right. I don't know, but he got injured,
Yeah,
okay? So the following day, he went to work limping. And I said, what happened to you? Oh, I fell on the ditch, on a hole when I was delivering mail. Are you hurt? I said, yes, I'm hurt. I'm in pain right now.
yeah.
So what are you doing here? I'm a CCA. You can? Doesn't matter, you're a CCA.
You're hurt.
You're hurt, okay? You have the right to file your CA forms and to go to a doctor, okay? That you want, that your doctor of your preference, okay? You don't have to go to a doctor that the post office tell you to go.
You don't have to go to the
Okay.
doctor your supervisor sends you to.
Okay, you can choose your own doctor, okay? But there's a fear.
Yeah.
Okay, because they're not full-time employees.
Right.
And they feel for retaliation, okay? And the post office is famous for retaliation,
Yeah, I've heard.
okay? And the thing is that in part, I understand that employee because he's not a career employee. But I said, you have rights, okay?
Sure.
You got injured, just request management, your CA forms, go to your doctor, okay? And request, all the forms and fill out the forms.
Yeah.
With your doctor and let's submit a case, okay? Well, he never did. He never did.
Which is
And-
like the story of most people. The
Exactly.
reason why only 14% of people have accepted claims is the majority of people won't even attempt their claim.
And-
they're scared.
And the thing is that, you know what, I hate when management retaliate from the employees, from the post office.
Yeah.
Even with full-time employees, they try to retaliate.
Oh, it's an epidemic.
But we need to have the proof that management is retaliating.
Yeah.
Against the employee. For example, Stacy, my coworker, she feels that she's being retaliated. And we're working on that.
Yeah.
We're working on that. There's a couple of things that I'm not gonna bring up here on this chat.
No, sure.
That we're doing. And she started and I'm helping her, okay? And we hope that everything's gonna get resolved, okay? But with her case, now management is like laying back, okay? And I say, okay, this employee as a full-time regular, she's serious what she's doing, okay? So let's do everything by the book,
Yeah.
okay? Because if we don't do everything by the book, then we're gonna be screwed.
Yeah.
But I'm just hoping that they screwed up. Just hoping they screwed up, so we can have more proof on her case.
Yeah.
Okay,
I think it's a lock that they screwed up on Sunday.
they screw up a lot.
Yeah.
A lot, like I said, like violate the contract.
Yeah.
That's every day. But yeah, on cases for working comp is tough. Okay, and I'm happy that you guys are opening more offices, and you guys are gonna open an office in Orlando pretty soon. I'm happy about that because more people, that's what they need.
Yeah.
Okay, more officers, more help. Okay, outside the office, so they can get the claims approved. Okay, this once those claims are approved,
It takes management, sort of like it sets them to the side. They have no more responsibility. Now, I say this anyways, management, their job is to fill out the forms or now the e-com and get the hell out of the way.
but we have some managers and like my favorite word, supervisors.
Stupid advisors.
Okay, that they delay to fill out their part of the CA forms. Okay, and that's something that we're trying to work now to make sure and to push management to fill out the part on a timely manner.
Yeah.
Because the more that they delay that, their case is gonna be, it's gonna be delayed more.
That's right.
Okay, so we want, or I want for those cases to be approved like right away.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm trying to do. Like I said, I'm not an expert on OWCP. As a matter of fact,
What's that?
that's the chapter volume 4, breaking the OWCP. And Stacy, as you know, I told you, it's signed by Chris. You see, it's signed by Chris. So it's a promise, okay? And I'll bring this to you next week when I'll go back to work. And this book is easy to read, okay?
Oh, yeah.
And we can say that we're smarter than a 5th grader because the language that he
That
used,
TV show?
yeah, the language that he used to write these books are so simple. And everything when you read this, you're gonna understand, okay? And I'm not gonna stop. I have 7 more years to retire. And until I'm working, until retire, I'm gonna be fighting for my coworkers,
Yeah.
members and non-members.
I think they're, and they're really lucky. Everyone here knows that there are strong stewards and there are stewards that are less strong,
Exactly, correct.
maybe less motivated, but you're not one of them.
Um,
You're maybe the most motivated steward I've met.
let's ask Stacy. Stacy,
Yeah.
you can make comments about how do I do my job as a steward in Winter Park. He can tell you how happy management is with me.
I bet they love you.
Oh, they love me. They love me. Yes. Yeah. They love me so much that when they go to my station, to my office, they don't say hi to me.
Oh,
They don't say hi to me. They're trying to avoid.
it's not even a love hate, it's just hate.
It's hate. But the supervisor say hi, and I have a good relationship with the supervisor that we have in that office with my manager. He can see me. He goes to the office. He's been there for 1 minute and he leaves. He don't even say good morning. Hi, how you doing? No, because that's the love that he have towards me.
So how many grievances against that guy have you won? Okay. Yeah, Captain.
Well, in my station, because I represent 35 plus offices, okay? So I can tell you about my station, Winter Park, okay? And when he's trying to violate a contract, I right away send him a text or send him an email or send him smoke signals and say, you know what you're gonna do is wrong, okay? So he tries to avoid that.
Yeah.
But sometimes he
Yeah,
doesn't,
they do.
okay? He doesn't. So we have won a couple of cases,
Yeah.
a couple of grievances against him. And I love when employees file EEOs against management.
Yeah.
That's.
But a lot of
totally
people say
different.
EEOs are a waste of time. What do you think?
It is not a waste of time.
I think not either.
It is not, it's like you're filing for OWCP.
Right.
It is not a waste.
It's not a waste of time if
Okay.
if you do it right.
It can be approved, it can be denied. It's the same with the EEO. It can be approved or it can be denied. There's a process for that, okay? But don't feel afraid, okay, to file your cases, EEO or OWCP, okay?
Yeah.
Just try, go ahead, okay? You guys need my help, I'm here to help you. I'm here to guide you with the right people so you can file the right complaints.
Yeah.
OSHA, EEO, OWCP. I don't know everything, and if I don't know the answer,
You have
you
resources.
bet, I'm gonna get the answer for you.
Of course.
Victor, will you help other crafts? Or are
Like,
you
let's
not
say a
allowed
ring carrier
to?
has a
Yeah,
problem.
like any other.
Well,
craft.
I have received messages from other unions, and by the contract, I cannot help those employees, but I can guide them.
Yeah.
Okay, of where they have to go.
Yeah.
Okay, they have to, first of all, reach out their own stores, okay, their own local. But if it's about OWCP, I can give the information for them to call and contact you guys, okay? So this is the information, this is the email, this is the phone number, just contact them, just call them, okay? And they will help you. And I have done that with other craft.
Okay.
But like to file grievances for other unions, I can't.
Okay,
All right, so I'm gonna talk more. I'm gonna ask you a grievance question at the end of this,
Okay?
but I don't want to get too far off track. So when supervisors, let's say they, because I believe that the number one reason that claims don't get accepted is because the majority of people are scared to file the claim at all.
Correct.
So what have you seen when management threatens the work?
They can threaten employees.
They can do it, but
They can do it, but if threats, I'm just going to give you an example. I just have a meeting like a week and a half with my station manager.
Yeah.
About agreements that I filed, because unfortunately, my station still, we don't have AC,
no air conditioning.
no air conditioning.
Well, your
Okay?
job's not hard, so why would you need AC? How can you not have AC?
We live in Florida,
Holy cow.
okay? So, and Stacy knows about this. Sorry, Stacy, I mentioned your name so much, but you know.
We love you, Stacy.
Yeah. So, we don't have AC. So I filed a grievance, okay?
Yeah.
And I met with my station manager like a week and a half ago about this case. And we were talking, and when he showed up, that was the first time that we spoke, because he's trying to always to avoid me. So we sat down, we face to face, and we
Can't
were
avoid this
talking.
now.
But his face was red,
Yeah.
like he was pissed. I'm sorry. Oh,
No,
he
we
was-
can say pissed.
Okay, but he
There's a
was- he
number
was-
of words you
okay.
can say here.
So he was mad, okay? And his face was red. So he was looking to the computer, so looking some emails, and I said, look, this is what's going on, okay? And if this is not fixed, we have to move forward with more grievances about this and that.
Yeah.
And they said, oh, are you threatening me? And I said, I'm not threatening you. This is just a friendly reminder.
Right.
Friendly reminder. It's not a threat, it's a friendly reminder of what the union is gonna do against management, okay? Because the AC, I know it's a big unit, AC unit that they need to order, and it's already ordered.
Yeah.
But the unit is coming from Texas, okay? But in the meantime, no water was provided to us. No ice was provided to us. I had to talk to the private company from the AC company so they can bring us AC, portable ACs.
You had to do that.
I did that. Okay, it was not management, it was myself,
It was their job.
and I request big fans.
Yeah.
So they provide the fans, the private company provide 5 portable ACs,
Uh-huh.
okay? But before that, I had to contact OSHA. So OSHA sent a friendly letter to management.
1-800-321-OSHA.
Okay, so guess what? The next day, all the portable ACs was in my office. Bottled waters with ice was in my office. Why?
Yeah, why not before?
Why did not before?
Yeah.
Why, after I contact OSHA, all those supplies came to us?
Yeah.
Why management failed to do their job? Why me? Of course, I'm as a steward. Of course, I'm gonna be taking care of my coworkers. Okay, so that's what I did. So management said, "Oh, we provide you water, we provide you ice, we provide you portable ACs."
You made that happen.
It was the management. It was
Yeah.
me. It was the union. It was me. Okay, so that's why I'm there.
Yeah.
Okay, to protect the employees. Another office, the AC went down and I did the same thing.
For them, because management's not gonna do it.
And I don't work in that station.
Right.
So that's why I'm here, to protect the rights of the employees, even their members or non-members.
See, everyone needs a Victor in their local, at their station. Everyone needs that. So, let's pause for a minute, and Jeannie's in the background still. There are some questions. Can you read some of the questions?
Yeah, let's see. Stacy said Victor is relentless when it comes to filing grievances.
Thank you, Stacy.
And for all of you other stewards that are out there watching this, be like that. You know, you have to push back, right? I mean, if management just pushes and pushes and pushes and pushes, and you do nothing about it, you're gonna lose your contract. I mean, like, bad things are gonna happen. I heard a national union rep, it doesn't matter what union, because I think it applies all over. He said, every inch they take that you don't push back is an inch you never get back.
Correct.
You're never getting it back.
Correct.
And so what you're doing is saying, hey, this isn't happening at my station.
It's not.
It's not happening here.
And the problem is, when I'm not there, like this week, right now.
Yeah.
Stacy is my contact. Yeah, she's been sending me text messages.
you're finding out
Of course.
Yeah.
And I know what's going on, what's going to happen next week, and what's going on right now.
Yeah.
And what happened today
Right.
at the office. Okay. So she's been sending me text messages. Thank you, Stacy.
I love that.
So yes, and the other thing is that we have offices that I represent that contact me, Victor, hello, this is what's going on, blah, blah, blah. I say, okay, have you request a union steward? No, you have to request union's representation to management.
Yes.
First. They have to contact me, and then I will contact the office and talk to the employees. I'm afraid to do that. So why are you sending me text messages? If you don't want to stand up and fight for your rights,
Yeah.
why are you sending text messages? I can do anything for you if you don't step up and fight for your rights.
You know, the 25th thing on the 25 things you can do to win an OWCP is, I don't care what management thinks. I don't care what my supervisor thinks.
Exactly.
Forget your supervisor's feelings. Who cares?
That's why we have a contract. That's why we
That's
have
right.
a union.
Follow the contract.
And the bargaining unit will protect employees, members and non-members. Okay,
Good.
That's right.
so that's what I mean.
What's that?
All right, I have a question. This is for Victor from Mary. It says, okay, Mr. Victor,
You're on the firing line now.
you are the answer to my question. Working the post office, filing for disability retirement, where and what site should I go to or call? I live in Atlanta.
Okay, so the good thing is about Atlanta, we have national business agents from Florida that they're based in Tampa. We have 3 national business agents. We have Doris, we have Sandra, and we have Jim. Okay, they represent 4 states, and Atlanta is one of them. If you can send Gini your information, I'll be more than happy to forward that to my business agents, and they can guide you on how to do that.
Yeah, just those of you that are on here, just send me a message on Messenger after the chats.
And I'll be more than happy to forward that information to the business agent from the APWU, and they will contact you with the right information, because I don't work in Tampa, so, I mean, in Atlanta. Right.
And they want to know, do you have a hotline number to call, or is it 1-800-VICTOR?
I saw that. This one, I'm gonna buy that from you.
Okay.
Victor.
I can give,
What do we do when you answer that? What do you say?
okay. I'm not gonna give you my personal phone number, but I can give you the email that I use for union business,
There you
okay?
go.
So it's shop, SHOP, store, 1462@gmail.com.
Shop Stewart 1462.
Once again, shop store 1462@gmail.com. Okay, send me an email, and I'll be more than happy when I have a chance to answer your questions. If I don't have the answer, I promise I will get you the answer. Or I can forward your email to the right person that can answer your questions.
But be patient. If you decide to send that email and he doesn't respond right away, be patient.
Please,
Very
I
patient.
have a lot of
A lot going on.
side.
Yeah.
What are you, the union, what union do you work with, and what is your title?
I'm part of the Central Florida AFOC, Central Florida APWU local 1462. I'm the assistant clerk craft director for my local. I also represent 35 plus offices, and I'm the Florida APW District 5 business agent.
Dan.
This is Dusty said, what about when I was hired in a position where they never disclosed that the position was not union covered position and it's not a management position?
Can that person collaborate more with that?
Yeah,
Dusty.
so what
Because
position would be not?
Yeah, Dusty, if you can say a little bit.
A management position?
So the question is, what about when I was hired in a position where they never disclosed that the position was not a union covered position and it's not a management position?
Well, when you get hired in the post office, okay, you don't get hired as a career employee. Well, sometimes it happens, but normally you're hired as a temporary employee. And when you get hired, the post office have to notify each union. For example, rural carriers, mail handlers, clerks, letter carriers, they have to notify the union that there's new hires, okay? So the union can go to the orientation and present those new employees the union, okay? I have to say this, unfortunately, you don't have to be part of the union for the union to represent you because we're on a right to work state. And the right to work, I don't want to go to politics, but right to work state, you don't have to be a union member for the union to represent you. But I always encourage, you know what, if you want good representation, just join the union.
I
okay?
agree. I've always said
Just
that.
the union. If you don't want to join the union, I respect that. I will still represent that employee, okay? I will still represent that employee, but it hurts me. It hurts me that I'm representing non-members for the same cost of people that are
Pay
part of.
dues.
But you know what? I'm not mad. I'm not against those employees that they don't want to be part of the union. I still represent them, okay? With the same love I do for union members, because that's what I learned.
Yeah.
At the beginning, when I started this 20 years ago, I was like, F the non-members. I'll only give 10% to the non-members.
You're a
and
more
I'll-
mature man now, though.
And I will give 150% to the members, okay? But you know what? With the process, with the time I learned, okay? There's a reason why I don't know the reason why that person is not a member. I don't want to, and that's private, okay?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna ask that person why why he or she's not a member. I respect that. But with this 20 years as a steward, I have learned a lot. And I still represent them no matter what.
What is the benefit of being a union member?
Good representation. Even that as a member or non-member, you still get the benefits for the contract. But being a member of the union is to support the national and local unions, okay? Because sometimes we struggle.
Yeah.
Okay, I understand. Each local is different. Sometimes probably it's maybe like $20-25 every 2 weeks. Some other locals is like 30 every 2 weeks. And if you add that, it's like $60, $70 a month.
Right.
And you know what?
That's a lot.
The economy, the way the economy is going right now, okay, I understand why people are not a part of the union, but you know, the union were the ones that got you 8 hours a day, they got you the overtime, they got you your holiday space.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you're a full-time regular, you get your pay your holidays, okay? You get your overtime. That's thanks to the union. Because the union, every 3 or 4 years, they have to sit down with headquarters in Washington, post office, to discuss the new language of the contract. Okay, and you get pay raise, you got the cost of living act. Okay, that's what, thanks to the union, because the union is fighting for the employees. So that's why I always recommend each employee for the post office of the facility to be part of that, of the unit.
Donna says, Chris, my case manager asked why I would go so far
She
to,
meant claims examiner.
oh,
I've
that's what
seen
she
this
meant?
before.
Okay. They aren't wanting to pay me but 4 hours each time I go. That's correct though, right?
Right, so by rule, they're only gonna pay up to 4 hours of any work shift, and they'll only pay, unless you can get pre-authorization from a claims examiner, they're only gonna pay up to 100 miles round trip driving, so like 101 miles, they'll just not pay for any of it. And she's in Chattanooga, I saw it,
Mhm.
and the other question she asked is, are we coming to Chattanooga? Yes, we are absolutely gonna have a Chattanooga office. And someone else said, are you ever coming to Iowa? The answer was yes. In fact, Gini will tell you that of all 50 states, the one state that I most want a new office in is where?
Iowa,
And why is that?
the field of
The
dreams.
field of dreams. Okay. So, yeah, I want to have an office in Iowa really bad. Because every time I'm there, I want to say, is this heaven? And I want someone to say, no, it's Iowa. And I'm making a joke, but to be very serious, no, that's real. I started helping a lady in Iowa even before this franchise was created in like 2017,
Yeah.
2016. I was at a restaurant and I got a random call from a lady in Iowa. And I stepped away from the table and spent almost an hour talking to this lady on the phone, helping her through her ordeal, and said, okay, we need an Iowa office, but still we're left with needing to find a doctor that will say yes. They're not all Dr. Dorfmans who say, yes, I'll take these 2 offices and let me have a third, please. So many of them will just say, no, I don't want it. And that's tough. But yeah, we definitely want to be in Chattanooga, and we want to be in Iowa.
Right,
This
this-
one is from Martha.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
gonna read it,
Okay,
yeah.
Go ahead.
Victor, how did you feel about clerks who are calling in about being off due to a new injury on the job and being told by the clerk who answers the phone in our tour supervisor office that they can't claim their absence as on the job? Oh my God, this is the type of stupidity a friend of mine is going through. I asked her to please speak to a union steward and file a CA7. She got hurt 3 months ago. I hope I advised her correctly.
So let me ask you this, just to make sure you're going to answer that question. I know how to answer it, but I'm going to let you answer it. A supervisor tells someone they can't claim their time off as a work injury. What does that even mean? Can you translate that to me in English, please? What is that?
That's what the supervisors do.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's stupid.
Well, I don't know if Chris is gonna say this.
No, you go ahead.
Okay. You have 3 years, right?
To report an injury.
3 years to report an injury.
Not 3 days, not 30 days, not 2 weeks.
It happened 3 months ago.
Yes.
You're fine.
You're fine. You know what? Go to management, request your proper CA's forms.
Well, now you do it on eComp, right?
Exactly.
So you go to management report,
Yeah, you can
go to
do
eComp, and they get an email.
And I'm telling you, eComp is the easiest way to file a claim.
Oh, yeah.
I love eComp, okay? You open your profile, you submit the paperwork, you file all the information,
Done.
done.
Yeah.
Easiest way.
And it's time stamped. If the supervisor
I'm telling you.
doesn't get it in 10 days, you can file a
And
grievance.
then you see, because management is gonna receive a copy of that. And then you can go every day and to see if management has replied,
That's right.
okay? And it's great.
And you can see everything in your case file immediately.
As a matter of fact, I got COVID back then. And thanks to this chat, I learned how to file for COVID on OWCP on income.
Yeah,
And it was approved.
of course.
I got paid for 3 days.
How about that?
Huh?
Yeah.
I opened my profile, I submit all the information, management approve it. They send me an email, okay, you need to provide this information. I scan it, I submit it.
Yeah.
I got paid.
Yeah. Getting
So
more
yeah,
questions?
for that
Not
few
yet.
months, yes, go and tell that employee to request
Is there-
forms
Chris,
and go for it.
is there anything there to read?
No, I'm seeing him here. So it looks like, and I'm not keeping up with the conversation, but it looks like Dr. Cooper is implying that he's got a timeline that's not set in stone to go to Chattanooga himself.
That's what I see.
And so that'll be great, because he's a badass. Those of you that know him know that already.
Oh, by the way, I met Eric Blowers.
Yeah. Oh, so Eric's actually here.
Oh, he's here?
Well, he's not here.
Okay,
I think he needed to go up and go to sleep,
yeah.
take his
Yeah,
geriatric
amazing.
medicine.
That guy is
Take a
great,
nap.
too. Yeah.
Eric's great. Yeah, he
He's
just
great.
decided to hang out.
Yes, he's great.
Pat said, if you wait 3 months to file, don't you have to file a CA2 instead of a CA1?
Oh, no. So look, you have 3 years to report an injury, regardless if it's a CA1 or 2. The difference is on a CA2, something that develops over time. You have 3 years from the date you knew it was work related. So you could be limping around for 2 years and not realize that, you carry the mail and you walk 10 miles a day for 2 years, or 20 years. That could be your situation, but your doctor says, yeah, I think this is work related. Now you have 3 years from when your doctor told you that, from when you were reasonably made aware, regardless if it's a CA1 or CA2. They're both 3 years.
What do you like best about your job, Victor?
Say filing grievances. That's what I like best about the job.
Besides that, people, think that the post office is an easy job, and it's not, okay? Even though we have good pay, good benefits,
Yeah.
good health plan, and good retirement plan, the post office is not an easy job.
No, it's a
not.
hard job. Are you kidding me?
It's hard.
I know an
It's hard.
NFL player, ex-NFL player.
Uh-huh.
He was a cornerback for the Steelers, and he said that he would not do your job because it's too hard.
I hate the Steelers.
Okay, so I wouldn't do their job. But an NFL player, a world-class athlete,
That's really
would
right.
not do a postal job.
Yeah, it's each craft is different. Like, you have clerks that they work distribution, they work the window, like the retail office.
Yeah.
We have letter carriers that they're like on the street, delivering mail. On these LOVs, that is called long life vehicles, that they're mail.
Because they're all like 30 years old.
Excuse me?
The LLVs, are they older than that?
They're like 50, 60.
Oh my
Yeah,
God,
it's-
How old?
talk about long life.
And the thing is that
56.
those vehicles, they only have a fan.
Yeah, there's no
And
AC.
When there's no AC, when it's hot, that fan blows hot air. Okay, so right now the post office is bringing new vans, okay, with AC. So little by little, each office is getting new vans,
Yeah.
but it's because, once again, because of the
The
union.
union,
Exactly.
of course.
They fought for that, and they're getting little by little, because we have a letter carrier, a couple months ago, I think it was in California, San Francisco. He was delivering mail, and he died.
What?
He died
Of heat?
of heat
Yeah.
while
Oh,
delivering the mail. He passed away, and he died. Like, he fell on the floor, he fainted, and he died.
And by the way, this example is why I say I don't care what my supervisors think, because what did the supervisors do with his job tomorrow?
And
They replaced him.
Yeah.
And exactly. And I heard other stories about letter carriers, like, in other offices, because, union is union, and we know, we
You all know
hear-
each other.
We heard all the information.
Yeah. Well, I
Um,
mean, you get together at things like this and talk.
well, this is a clerk's union. This is
Right.
like
You're talking about all
a-
crafts.
All crafts, okay? So I have friends in other unions, and, one of the steward from another craft, from the letter carrier craft, called me and said, Victor, this really happens in my office. He said, what happened? I have a letter carrier, delivering mail, and it was so hot, that he went to a 7-Eleven and to buy water. So now the scanners that the letter carriers use, they have GPS.
oh,
Right.
gee.
And the post office on the management or the supervisor in the computer, they can check or they can track where the letter carrier is. So they can send emails or messages to the scanner of that letter carrier, say, why do you stop in that location? And the employee replied, it's hot. I need to get water. I don't care. Just keep delivering the mail.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so I said, you know what? You better go back
Yeah.
and file against management about that, okay? They won the case,
Okay.
but it's, you see.
That's a slam dunk case, but most people don't want to mess
How
with it.
stupid they are, okay? Like, they don't care about the safety, well, some of them do. But there's other management that they don't care about the safety of the employee. They only care about numbers.
Yep.
And they only care about the bonus that they're gonna get at the end of the year, okay? So, you know what? They don't care about the employee,
Right.
okay? Even with I don't wanna bring this up, but like when my wife was diagnosed with cancer, breast cancer, that right now, knock on wood, she's okay.
Oh, God.
They were giving me a hard time, and they was asking me so many questions. I said, look, I have my FMLA case approved already for life, for my
Right.
wife, for life. So why are you giving me a hard time? Okay, so they know me, I'm gonna be an ass towards them and say, okay, so you don't wanna leave me alone because of my wife? So you want me to pressure, like to press charges against you? When I say that, they'll back up.
That's crazy. And the FMLA is law.
It's just a federal law.
Like, the supervisors don't have the authority to go over that.
Well, the supervisor still, requests documentation to employees when employee call for FMLA, even that's a federal law.
Yeah.
You don't need to, you're not required to provide documentation.
Yeah.
When you approve FMLA,
Right.
but we move forward.
All right, what else you got?
Barb said, can you get mileage reimbursement for doctor's appointments and PT while you're on comp?
Yes, you can, up to 100 miles round trip, only after your claim is approved. If your claim's not approved, you can't get reimbursed for any of this. And I believe she's also the one that asked, can she go back several months? The answer is yes, you can go back to, I think there's a time limit, but it's not months, it's years. So you're okay.
She also said, do I have to go week by week and submit my CA7s?
Well, it depends, but your CA7s are for any period of time that you're out of work. But I did read a letter from a claim examiner once that said they wanted CA7s turned in every 2 weeks. And that just, to me, sounds like common sense because it gets you paid on a regular schedule.
Victor, what are the steps of filing a grievance for APW?
Oh, I love this.
Yeah.
I gotta take notes. Oh, it's recorded. I'll go back and watch it. No,
First of
I'll
all,
watch it.
before the employee wants to file a grievance, the employee have to, go to management and request union representation, okay? Management is entitled and is allowed to ask the employee the reason or the purpose why the employee is requesting union representation.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid. Oh, because I saw management doing clerk work. Okay, fine. It is management responsibility to contact the union the same day within 2 hours. If they don't do that, then the following day, the employee must request union again. If they don't do that, or if management does not contact the union, then the employee can contact us and say, look, I request union representation on this day at this time. Did management contact you? No. If they do, then we schedule a day.
Yeah.
And time to call that employee and talk to the employee. And then the employee say, well, this is what happened. Okay. And then we say, okay, there's a violation. I'm gonna tell the supervisor to give you union time on the clock so you can write me a statement. Once the statement is done, send it to me. I submit the information, an information request to management. I receive the information. I have 14 days to file grievance against management from the day that we became aware of. Once I receive the information, I file the grievance. Employees on the APW craft are entitled to do their own step 1 grievance. Okay, employees do not need a union steward to file grievance for step 1.
Yeah.
In the APWU, we have a couple of steps. Step 1, step 2, we have step 3 or step 2 appeal to arbitration. So once this grievance is filed at step 1, we meet with management. That's an informal meeting. We can settle it at step 1. If not, it's going to step 2. There's a time frame or time limit for me to file a step 2. And we meet at step 2, is denied, then it goes to step 3 or step 2 step 2 appeal to arbitration. There's time frame for that. But the contract, the language said on the Article 15 says that management should resolve any and all grievances at the lowest level possible.
Just fix it.
It's fixed, exactly. So, that question is a little bit complicated. If you got my email, send me an email and I can give you more details on how the grievance procedure works for the APW.
So I have a question, sort of follow-up though.
Mhm.
Let's say someone has a grievance, it's a valid grievance.
Okay.
What's the cutoff to where they can no longer file it? How long?
Okay, so the Article 15 of the contract says that the union have 14 days to file a grievance.
So in day 15, you can no longer file it?
In part, you're right, but there's also a language, black and white, on the contract says that it's 14 days or when the union became aware of.
Okay,
Okay, so if it was 20 days ago, okay, the union can use that language when the union became aware of. But we have to make sure that we add that language.
and then
to
it's
the
another
grievance.
14 days from when you became aware?
Not really. Like, for example, let's say a violation happens today is what? Today is the 20th. Let's say the violation happens on the 1st of September, right?
Now it's been 20 days.
20 days, but I just found out today. Okay, so today, I submitted an information request to management for a violation that happens on September 1st. I received the information. Management have between 3 to 5 days. We normally ask for the information to be provided to the union within 3 days.
Yeah.
But they have 3 to 5 days. Okay, let's say I received the information on the 25th. I reviewed the information on the 26th. I filed the first step one grievance. And then on my language, when I filed the grievance, I said on the Article 15 of the contract, when the union became aware of the violation. So we became aware the 20th.
Okay.
So it's not on timing.
Right. So I think this is, to use a criticism,
Mhm.
I think this is exactly like reporting your injury, like anything
Yes.
else.
Yes.
The soonest possible time to do anything is now.
It's that.
So for those of you out there that have grievances, now, like report it right away, but tell your union right away. And if you're with APW and you think it's too late, well, what Victor just said is they can file the grievance as soon as they become aware.
Well, I'll just give you an example. I won a grievance that probably was a month and a half late. And the employee sent me a statement and I told the employee, you know that this is like a month or month and a half late, right? But I'll do my best. I'll give my shot.
Sure.
Okay, so I submit the information request. I receive it like within 3 days. I filed the grievance. I put that language on the Article 15 of the APW contract when the union became aware of.
Yeah.
Okay, we won the case. I won the case, and the employee got money.
Yeah.
Okay, so it all depends on how smart the supervisor is, because I know a lot of
So is that a
postmasters.
scale from like 0 to 3? Or does that scale go all the way to 10?
Well, it's
The intelligence of the supervisor? Because I think it's 0 to 3. I don't think it goes all the way up to 10.
look, I have a lot of offices, and I have good relationship with a lot of postmasters, a lot of station managers, and a lot of supervisors. Because at the beginning, I was like hardcore.
So here, we're not talking about you.
No. I'm talking. Okay. So, before when I started, I was like an age, and I didn't give a crap about management.
Yeah.
But I learned.
Yeah.
At the time I learned. Okay. So, be smarter than management.
Sure.
Okay. Just play with management mind, and that's what I do. Okay?
I love
That's why I come to this training, to the convention seminar, because they teach you how to play with management. Okay, so that's why most, like I should say, like 95% of my cases are already being settled on the first 2 steps.
Yeah. I love it.
So
What is your email, Victor, again?
okay? So it's SHOPSTEWARD1462@gmail.com.
Shop Steward 1462.
Yeah.
I'm pinning the comment for those of you that want to have it.
All right, so we only have 10 minutes left. What other questions do we have? I have one more that I'm
Go
gonna
ahead,
ask.
you go ahead.
Okay, this is my grand finale question. and you have to dig deep for this one. My favorite thing, and you know this, everybody that's been watching
You
knows,
have to take notes. Go ahead.
everybody that knows me knows that there are two things that I love the most in OWCP.
Okay,
Number one is clearly getting claims accepted.
yes.
Accepted claims is like the holy grail of what we do.
Mhm.
But my second favorite thing is grievances.
Okay,
And I had Richie Ray on here a few weeks back. Richie's from Staten Island. He's a letter carrier president.
okay.
And I didn't even ask him this question, but now I have you right here. My question is, of all the grievances you've ever won, what's your favorite? I'd love this. I mean, I wish I would have asked that to Richie too. What's your favorite grievance you've ever won? I should have asked this to Kenny too, Hodge.
Wow. Going back to 2002?
Yeah. And it doesn't have to be related to work comp.
No. It's okay. So back then, we call what is called BMF. BMF is Vehicle Maintenance Facility in Mid Florida. Okay. Back then I used to represent the maintenance craft. I don't know why I was appointed as a clerk to be steward for the maintenance craft. There was the ones that fixed the vehicles.
Yeah.
For the post office, right? So there's an article in the contract called Article 32. Okay. And Article 32, management have 5 steps that they have to follow before they subcontract the job to outside,
Yeah.
outsource, right?
Okay.
So I had this lovely supervisor that I'm glad he retired. Can I say? No, I'm not gonna say his name.
You can say his first name.
Mike.
Okay.
from mid Florida.
Mike from Mid Florida, we're making you famous.
Well, he's retired, okay? And the last name start with the letter A.
Hey.
So I filed, that was back in 2000, I believe it was 2008, when I was appointed to be the steward for maintenance craft in Mid Florida. I filed my first grievance for the vehicle maintenance facility of subcontracting, okay? Because there was subcontracting job having the employees there.
Yeah.
So let's subcontract like tow trucks and like oil changes for the vehicles and tires, whatever. So I filed a grievance. But guess what? That office or that station in Mid Florida, they have back then, they have like 30 or 35 employees. But only 2 maintenance employees wrote statements. So I filed a grievance.
Yeah.
It was denied at step 1. It was denied at the second step. It was denied at the third step. So it went all the way to arbitration. So when a grievance goes to arbitration, the post office has to pay a lot of money to the arbitrator.
Yeah.
To come down to Florida and to meet with myself, with the business agents from Tampa to discuss his case.
Yeah.
And with management from the post office. So we met Trayport in Orlando, right in the airport. We met back in 2009. We met, we're talking, we have all the bullet points, we have all the proof, and the arbitrator said, he started laughing. And he started laughing to management. And you know what? On the arbitration, the arbitrators can use the language that they want. So the arbitrator told management, what the F you guys are doing?
Oh,
He told that to management.
oh, wow.
What the F you guys doing here? Because we're here to talk about Article 32. Exactly. Article 32 on the contract clearly state that you violate Article 32 because you outsource and you hire companies outside the post office to perform the job that the employees can't do. Victor, how many hours are we talking about? Almost 2,000 hours.
Oh, my gosh.
And
Woo.
okay, let me go back to my business agents outside. Let's discuss this, right? So the arbitrator told management, are you willing to settle this now? Because if you don't settle this, I have 30 days to come back with my decision. And,
That's the arbitrator
Yeah.
thing. Okay.
and told management, you're not gonna like my decision.
Oh, geez.
So labor and manager said, we don't agree. Okay, fine, we close the case.
Oh, this thing gets worse for them.
A month later, we got the settlement. We won the case,
Right.
Of course.
okay? We won the case.
The arbitrator said you were gonna win.
Of course, at the beginning,
Yeah.
right? So we won the case. So those two employees got paid a lot of money, okay? Only two employees because we only have two statements.
Uh-huh.
If we had all the 35
Oh.
employees with statements, everything's gonna be split by all the employees. But you know what? Those two employees that had the time and they had the guts to write me a statement, they got a lot of money. So that's my best grievance because I love when the arbitrator told management what the F we're doing here. When the case is like really is a violation.
But what I just learned, like, to me, the lesson, and in my mind, I'm pretty sure those two people got like 5 figures each.
A little bit more than that.
Oh, crap.
Probably like, I think it was
2,000 hours.
there was, I had to go back to my file, but it was more than $5,000 per, yeah,
Yeah.
it was more than $5,000, yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
Nice. Merry
Yeah.
Christmas.
Yeah.
But to me, the lesson is, because I'm always saying file a grievance, file a grievance. We have shirts that say hashtag file a grievance. We have grievance coffee mugs. We have everything grievance. And people don't want to get involved. They just don't want to be involved in it. They don't want to be a witness statement of box 16.
That's the problem.
You know, they don't want to file their injuries because they're mad at, or they're worried about supervisors. They're those idiots, what they think. And they don't want to get involved in grievances because they don't want to be a problem for the agency or whatever. But these ones, if they would have gotten involved in the grievance, man, that would have been worth thousands of dollars to be involved.
I believe that supervisor, was told by his boss, like to retire.
Yeah, you should go ahead and retire now.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Retire
Don't make
because-
me fire you.
Yeah, and after we won that grievance, everything's fine.
Yeah, that's not happening anymore.
Nice.
Well, that was fun. Okay, so look, we're up on the hour. We
I
have
have
a few
one more
minutes.
question.
We have one more question that I can't wait to answer.
It's from Barb. She's,
Okay,
I don't
good.
know if it's for Victor or you.
That's okay.
Just if your route is evaluated at anything over than 40 hours, how many 40-hour rule routes are left?
So this
Seriously.
is a rural carrier.
That's a rural carry question.
They
I
have to
know-
look at their own contract,
well,
right?
I know a little bit about the rural, the RCA contract. If you're a full-time rural carrier, your routes are evaluated, okay? Let's say that your route is evaluated in 50 hours, right? And if you do it in 30 hours, you still get paid
50 hours.
okay? But if you do your route in 60 hours, you get paid only 50 hours, okay? But let's say you do your route in a week, in 30 hours, right?
They're gonna
But
reevaluate.
you get paid your 50 hours, but when you come back to the office, management tell you like, oh, I need you to go help a different route. Okay, the employee go out for those hours that employee worked outside his route, they're overtime pay.
Okay.
But any other question, just. I
Oh,
don't
wait,
know, I
she
don't-
said, no, that's not the question.
Okay, so
Okay.
she's from where?
Barb, where are you from?
And you know what, also, Barb, I actually, and I'm super motivated to help you on this. Be sure you send us a message, a Facebook message. And everyone's got Victor's email now.
Yeah.
But remember, be patient with Victor because he's one man and he's got 35 places he's responsible for and a wife who wants him to come home. All right, so we're gonna add, hey Barb, we're probably gonna have to end this, but send us that message because I desperately want to help you. And we will absolutely get you the answer you need. I want to thank you, Victor, for being here.
Yes,
Brother,
thank you. Yeah.
Like, thank you, Chris and Gini, for attending this FPW's conference and seminars, and for the things you guys do on this live chat and all the office that you have and all the help that you do to us. I really appreciate it. Like I said, guys, share this live chat share, share, share. Help friends, family members, dog, cats, bears,
Especially bears.
The Bears, yeah.
thanks to.
We need help too. Too.
So, yeah, this is, like, it's good information. It's good information. Like I said, I'm here tonight, and after this, I have to go back to help
You got work to do.
what to do, yes.
Victor, what is one thing you want to leave for the people on chats to know? One important thing, it doesn't matter, just anything important
Sure,
that you think is important to them.
don't give up,
Love it.
don't give up. And you gotta fight for your rights,
That's one of the 25 things.
okay?
Never give up.
And
I got chills.
that's a song from the Beastie Boys, okay?
You gotta fight for your right to party.
I don't wanna say to party, but you need to fight for your rights so you
Yeah.
can win and you can, enforce your rights as a worker. okay?
Never give up.
Yes.
Don't never give up, okay? I have people that they were like this close to give up, and with the little help that we gave them, okay, they came back up and now they're happy
That's right.
because they still have a job.
And if you don't give up, we don't give up.
Exactly. Never give up, okay?
Well, thanks everybody for being here tonight. This was the Florida APWU
Seminar.
Fall seminar.
Fall
Fall
Seminar and the Florida APWU version of Wednesday night OWCP chats with Chris, Gini, and Victor.
Yes. Yeah. Charts.
All right, well, hey, we'll be back next week.
Wait.
Hello, and tell everybody goodbye.
All right, guys, so don't forget, next Thursday, Chris and I will be in Montgomery, Alabama with all of our Montgomery friends and our federal people. And with Dr. Harper for our Chris and Jeannie Sip and Socialize, and Dr. Harper's office in Montgomery, Alabama. So don't forget, we'll see you guys next week. We won't be doing chats Wednesday because we are flying in and driving into Montgomery. We will be going live on Thursday. So we will see you guys next week, Thursday.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.